this is how you update your data. So you can specify any column as your criteria to restrict this updation only to certain records which satisfy the criteria. If you don't specify the this where clause, in that case the entire table will get updated with this particular value. I mean, all the values of that particular column will get updated with this value that you are specifying. So this is how this update query works. Then we have something called as delete query in SQL. So you see proc SQL. So let's see how to implement delete query. So suppose I want to delete the last row. I guess our previous query is not executed, so just execute this to see how this updates your table. So executed. Now if I say proc SQL select star from new cells, just see, now all my rows have values present in all their columns. Suppose I want to delete this last row which I added. So we have a query called as delete. So just say delete from table name. So I say delete from new cells, delete from new cells. If I just say delete from new cells, this is going to delete everything from my table new cells. So it's better that you specify a criteria to restrict this deletion only to certain records which satisfy your criteria. So I say delete from new cells where I say EMP address is equal to Delhi. But I have two employee addresses from Delhi. If I specify employee address as Delhi, then this is going to delete both this employee Sachin and Krishna. Suppose I want to delete only the last employee. So I should not use employee address as my criteria because that has duplication. Rather, I should use employee ID or the unique name or the phone number of the employees to delete them. So I say where EMP ID is equal to 1016. So this is going to delete the last row from my table whose employee ID is 1016. So as you see the log window, one row was deleted from this particular data set, new cells. So if I write a proc SQL, select star from new cells. So these are the only rows left in my table. So I have employee ID, employee name, employee address and employee phone. The last row is deleted. So just now we covered insert, update and delete query. All these three queries in SQL are called as data manipulation language queries. We have also seen select query, which is called as data query language. Then we have also covered create, which comes under a category of SQL queries called as data definition language. So there are various categories of queries. These two are the major categories: data definition language and data manipulation language. So when I say data manipulation language, this comprises of these three queries: insert, update and delete. And when I say data definition language, this comprises of queries mainly create, alter and drop. So far we have seen only create. We will also see the alter and the drop query. So let's take the next query as alter query. So is a proc SQL. First of all, please understand we have this alter query which is used to modify the structure of the table. When I say modifying the structure, meaning you can change the earlier labels that you specified, or you can change the formats that you specified at the time of creating the table, or you can add new columns, you can delete existing columns. These are the kind of structural changes that you can make by making use of this alter table query command. So this is how the syntax is. Suppose I want to add a new column to my table by the name join date. So currently I have in my new cells, I have employee ID, then I have employee name, employee address and employee phone. Suppose I want to add a new column to this table as employee or simply join date. But I don't want to drop my existing table and then write this create table once again with job title, because in this case I'm going to lose my data. So what I want, without disturbing my existing structure or data of the table, I want to add a new column to my table. So I say alter table name. So you say alter table new cells, and then you can go to the next column and say you can write it in the same column. Just for better readability, I'm preferring writing it in new columns. So I say alter table name, add join date, and let me specify the type of the join date as character. Again, I say character 10. So a new column is added. If you remember earlier, we had four columns. We had employee ID, name, employee address, and phone number. That is four columns. Now we added the fifth column, that is join date. So as you see in this log, it's saying the table work.newcells has been modified with 5 columns. If I fetch you the if I fetch the data of the table, you'll see nothing present in the last column which we added to our table. So the last column is empty, join date. Now to write data to that last column, join date, you can make use of the update command or update query. So you can say update new cells, set, you say join date, set join date is equal to, you can specify some join date. I say 10th June 2014, where empid is equal to 1010. So as you see, this value is written to the first row of my table. So now this employee has a join date. Similarly, I can make these updations for the other employees. You just need to change the join date, or if it is the same join date, you just need to change the criteria. So I guess we updated all our rows. And if I fetch the data, so as you see, all our rows now have some join date value present. So this is how you alter the table, add a new column, and then afterwards you update the column and write some values to it. This is how you add new column. We have another uses of alter where we can drop the existing columns of our table. So we can say proc SQL before we drop the column. We'll also see how to specify a format or label for our column. So I say proc SQL alter table name, and then you say modify say empid, which was int, and just say label is equal to employee ID. And then secret. Okay, let's see. So as you see here, I specified a label for my column empid, and now it is displayed as employee ID. Similarly, you can specify a format for your column. So one more quick example. I say proc SQL alter table name, alter table name, then I say modify say join date, I say int, and format is equal to ddmm yy 10 dot. I doubt, because when I had written this join date, I had written it as a character, so I really doubt that this is going to work, but let's see. So as you see, this is what I expected. Since while writing we kept the type of join data as characters, only character type formats can be applied to that this particular column. You cannot change the type and then apply a format. We can say this for employee ID if you want. Or we'll test it later after creating a table where we'll have salary, and then we can do that right away. So to test this particular command, I'm expecting a proper measurable numeric variable. So let me create one more table. So here I want something like this. Format is equal to, let's say $8 dot. But this needs a table. So you say proc SQL create table emp sal, and then I say emp id int and salary int. Let's say this table has only two columns, employee id and salary, and both are numeric. Then I say quit. Now let me write some values. I say proc SQL insert into emp sal values, and then I say 1010 comma 50,000, and I say quit. And execute this. And I say insert into emp sal values 1011 45,000, and let me comment this first insert. Comment this, say insert into emp sal values 1012 and say 40,000. Then I say insert into emp sal values 1015 and 60,000. Okay. So proc SQL quit. Let me see what data is written to this table. So I say select star from emp sal. So this is what I have written it to this table. Now I'll go back to my alter table and I say alter table emp sal. So proc SQL alter table emp sal modify salary. Now as of now, if you see, salary is displayed in a normal numeric format. Let's say I alter this table and apply a format to salary variable or salary column. So it's done. And now if I print the salary values, they'll have dollar sign and appropriately, comma inserted in the number. So this is how you modify the structure of the table, where you can add a new column, you can drop the existing column, so that dropping existing column thing is pending, and you can alter the structure of the existing column. You can apply some label, you can give them some format, and that way you can make those structural changes. Now let's see the last implementation of alter, which is used to drop existing columns. Using delete query, I can delete only rows. I cannot delete my columns. So to delete column, we again have this alter command where we say proc SQL alter table table name. I say alter table. Let's say this emp, not emp sal. We'll take that new cells. So I say proc SQL alter table new cells. Then we say drop column. Column keyword is not needed, I guess. Just say drop emp phone. You need not specify the type because this is a familiar or known column. Just say run or quit. Okay. So as you see, now it's printing 4 columns, meaning one column has been deleted. So if I just say proc SQL select star from new cells, just see there is no EMP phone now. You only have employee ID, employee name, employee address, and join date. So this is how we use alter command, which is the second data definition language query. Then we have the last data definition language query as drop, which is used to drop or destroy the entire table or the object. This is how the syntax is. So say proc SQL. Suppose I want to delete the entire table emp sal which I created. So I just say drop table and the name of the table, which is emp sal, and then I say quit. Now if you see, the log is writing this message, the table work.emp cell has been dropped. And now if you try to fetch data from it, you'll get an error. So if I say select star from emp sal, this is going to give me an error now saying emp sal data does not exist. So these were the three DDL commands that we discussed. So to quickly summarize what we have covered so far, so when I describe this data definition language, so we have a category of queries called as data definition language. Which covers queries like create, then alter and drop. Then we have seen another category which was data definition language. That covers queries like insert, update, and delete. So insert, update and delete. Data definition language queries are create, alter, draw, and data definition language queries are insert, update and delete. So we covered these two major categories of queries, and apart from this, in our previous session we have seen this data query language. That was the select query. We have seen various classes of select, like from, order by, then where, group by, and having. We have also seen how to use functions, how to use some functions, summary functions, like max, min, average, count, etc. So these are the topics that we have covered so far, and now we'll go back to the select query and we'll see how to implement some advanced queries in SQL SAS environment. So now I want to write a query where I want to compute a new column, and I want to write a criteria on that new column. In our previous session also we have seen how to compute a new column. So if you remember, while implementing group by, I computed the average salary of male and female, and I had specified a column header for it. Then I also counted the number of people in a particular job title. But then we never implemented a criteria on those computed columns. Now we'll see a query where we are not just going to compute the new column, but we are also going to write a criteria on that new column. So I say proc SQL and then I say select The table that I deleted, I need it again, that EMP sal. So I have preserved my create and insert query. So let me quickly fire it again. As you see here, I deleted my EMP sal by writing the drop query or drop command. If we can create it again. So here we created the table. Let me enable all these insert operations which were written on the table. So as you see, 4 rows have been inserted. Now if I say I guess we executed the query twice. So let me write a delete statement and execute it again. So I say proc SQL. Let me make the table empty. So I say delete table emp sal. I'm not specifying any criteria because I want to delete everything. By mistake, I clicked it twice and duplicate values have been inserted. So I say delete from table. So the table keyword is not needed. Just say delete from emp sal. So as you see, 8 rows are deleted. I'll go back to that query once again and execute this once. Let's see if it has been inserted. So as you see, these 4 rows have been inserted into my table emp sal. Now I'll go to my last query where I was trying to compute a new column based on the existing column values and definitions. So I say proc SQL select. I say emp id comma salary comma salary into 0.1 as bonus. So I'm computing 10% of salary and writing it as bonus from emp sal. So as you see, these are the bonus values written. So these were our defined columns, emp id salary. This is something that we computed in this query. So we computed bonus as 10% of the salary. Now suppose I want to write a criteria on this column bonus. So let me remove the semicolon. So I remove the semicolon and here say where bonus is greater than 5,000. Write only those records or rows or observations where bonus exceeded 5,000. Now this query will not work because where works only on defined columns. I mean, if you just specify the column name, it works only, it expects that the column is defined in your table. But as you know, this column bonus is not a part of my table. It is not defined in my table. This is something that I'm creating as a new column. So if I execute this, I'm getting this error. The following columns were not found in the contributing tables bonus. So here you need to write a keyword called as calculated. So in SAS SQL we have a keyword called as calculated, which is used to refer the computed variables or columns. SAS will not recognize your variables, computed variables, if you have not written this keyword calculated. Only when you write calculated keyword, it assumes that this is a variable that you have computed in the code and not a defined column or variable of your data set or table. So now if I execute this, I'm going to get this out. So now if you see, there is only one row that has satisfied my criteria, where bonus is greater than 5000. This is only for employee ID 1015. So this is how you use this calculated keyword along with computed variables to write a criteria on computed variables. Now after this we'll see how to implement join queries in SAS environment. These join queries are exactly similar to the merge technique that we implemented in SAS environment in our previous sessions. So we learned the concept of merging. This SQL join is exactly similar to the concept of SAS merging. So in this topic we are going to cover different types of joins. So we have a type of join query called as inner join. So let me quickly document it, what I'm going to implement now. So now we are going to discuss join queries, and we have different types of joins. We have something called as inner join, then we have outer join, then we have something called as self join. So there are different types of joins, but these are the three major types which are supported by SAS environment. Inner join, outer join, and self join. Now to implement these joins, you should have one common column among the tables that you are joining. So let's identify two tables on which we are going to write a join query that share a common column and implement this join operations on them. So you see proc SQL select star from new cells, select star from new cells, and then I say quit. Now if you select star from EMP cell, okay, so we have EMP ID common in both of them. As of now, if you see, all our values are matching. Let's do one thing before we write the join queries. Let's have some uncommon data also. Then only you'll be able to understand and appreciate the outer join queries. As of now, if you see, all our employee IDs are matching. So this also has 1010, 1011, 1215, and the other table also has the same. So let's do one thing. In the second table, let's insert a row. Let's insert a row which is not present in the other table. So it's insert into EMP sal values one zero one six. Say this is the employee ID and this is the salary, and this employee is not present in the employee table. So this is the extra row that we are writing. I'll comment all this so that this doesn't get inserted second time. So I'll execute only this. Similarly, in my first table, I'll insert something which is not present in my second table. So I'll just say here insert into I say insert into new cells values, then I say 1017 So now we have 5 rows in both the tables. 4 rows are matching and 1 rows are unique in both these tables. So we had written employee ID 1016, which is not there in new cells, and we have written 1017, which is not present in EMP cell. So as you see, this new cells, this has 5 rows where we have 1010, 1011, 12, 15 and 17. Whereas in second table, you have 1011, 12, 15 and 16. So let's write a join query. First we'll implement an inner join and then we'll see how to write outer join queries on these tables and generate some result satisfying some particular business scenario. So you see proc SQL, and then I say select empid, comma, ename, comma, salary from new cells, comma, emp sal, select empid ename. So if you see this empid ename, I want to fetch from the first table new cells, and salary is something that I have in my second table.